What's up, idols? It's CC Lesson 3. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. We gotta get into it. On my channel, we have covered clubbing in Korea so much. It is one of the most requested topics. It's one of the most frequently asked questions. What is it like clubbing in Korea as a foreigner? I made vlogs clubbing in Korea as a foreigner. Earlier this year when I was back in Korea, I did a video about that, and I will be going back to Korea later this autumn, and I will be back in the clubs out here sharing my experience with you guys. So first of all, subscribe if you don't want to miss that when it comes. Also, if you enjoy my content, please leave a like on the video, engage with this video, leave a comment below. If you don't know what to say, simply leave a comment that says for the watch, share with your friends, help me get these numbers up. 정말 감사합니다. Also guys, follow me on Instagram because I decided to start being more active there instead of just ranting on my story about politics. I'm gonna start posting posts again more. So I'm trying to get back into that. Follow your girl, talk with me there, slide in my DMs, let's chat. Also, before we dive into this clubbing in Korea incident and why you should not go to this club in Korea, later today I will be uploading a crazy story time on Patreon. Oh my god, like this girl, she's Canadian, she's about to leave Korea, she's ready to go back home to Canada. She met this boy on Hello Talk. He seems so normal. She invited him back. Shit got crazy. Link in the description if you want to see that story time. Anyway, for this video, there's a clip that I want to show you guys from this girl's TikTok, and you probably have seen it, you know, by now. Thank you, Marika, for showing me this because I'm not on TikTok. I don't like TikTok. So this is a TikTok video. It's like 6 minutes long, but I'll speed it up so you guys can like get the gist of it quicker.
Warning, this is not your typical travel story from Korea. I was attacked from behind in a Korean nightclub just because I said no. So it's my first night in Korea. I settled down in my hostel and met some people at the bar, and we all decided to go clubbing together. The hostel was in Hongdae, so we went to a club in Hongdae called This Is 25. Once we got in, free alcohol for foreigners, we got our own section, they gave us a whole bottle. It was popping, the music was popping. I even met some girls on the dance floor, you know how we do, twerking together. And this guy comes up to me, he's Korean, and he starts talking to me. And he asks if I want a drink, and I say no, politely, of course. I'm a K-drama addict, I'm bowing to everyone, 감사합니다, thank you, everything. I just try to be super and over polite, especially when I'm traveling alone. Then he comes back with 2 shots in his hand and he offers me the drink, and I say no sorry. I bow and I say no sorry, I didn't see the drink being poured, no offense, I don't want a shot. I bought. He says okay, come and I'll pour you one, and I said it's fine, we've got a bottle on the table. And he's like okay, cool. I go back to dancing with these new girls I've met in the club. We're dancing, getting low, and he comes from behind me and puts his arm out for me to grab his hand, and I'm like no sorry, no. I'm super polite and like I don't want to dance, sorry. I turn around and he comes into my face and starts pushing my face. One of the guys in my hostel sees this and comes in my defense and says, don't touch a woman. And I get involved because I don't want 2 men fighting because I know it could get out of hand. So I said, no, he's only stopping you because you put your hand in my face. There's no beef, sort of. He gets even angrier. So at this point, I de-escalate and I walk off. So I thought I had managed to defuse the situation. I turn around, I'm walking back to my table, and all of a sudden I feel a very hard knock to the head. And I'm thinking, did someone just bottle me? I'm not gonna lie, I'm from South London. I know how to hold it down. I know how to protect myself. And in this moment, I was thinking, who wants it? Who just hit me? Only to turn around and see a group of men defending me, and they were foreign men, screaming, he just drop kicked her. Are you okay? And I didn't even know I'd been kicked in the head. I thought it was a bottle. I thought I was about to have a fight. So long story short, they kicked him out temporarily. The bouncer pretended he couldn't speak English, tried to get me to step out, but the group of people that defended me, the foreigners, they were screaming, no, she can't be kicked out. He's the only one that should be kicked out. He kicked her. We all saw it. I brought out the translator app. I was explaining what just happened. Whilst I'm explaining, said Korean man comes downstairs and starts spitting at me from a distance. There's no other bouncers kicking him out. He's just let loose at this point. The only thing protecting me are these foreign men that have seen what's happened. So after a while of the bouncer pretending he can't speak English and everyone shouting on top of him as he was telling me to leave the club, he goes to the bar, comes back to me and my friends and says, do you want another drink? In English. So I'm like to them, let me not spoil everyone's fun. The guys left, which he sort of went upstairs, so I thought maybe someone had taken him out. And as they were getting a new drink, the guy walks back in, screaming and shouting again. And I was just like, forget this, we're leaving, I'm done. And as I was leaving, a couple of girls came up to me and they told me that stuff happens at this club all the time. They don't respect women. It's just a really dangerous place to be. So I'm making this video to let you know that you should not go to This Is 25. There's so many other clubs in Hongdae where I've been to myself and nothing like this has happened. But after that experience, my first night in Korea, I didn't go back to Hongdae. Like, I was done. I was borderline scared. I was thinking, I thought this country was so safe, and it is generally, and I still want to live there. My takeaway from all of this is your safety matters more than being polite. Trust your gut always. No means no, period. And it's not your fault if people react badly to your no. No one should be punished for setting a boundary, no matter what country you're in. Also, let me know if anything like this has happened to you in Hongdae. I really want to live in Korea one day, and I just want to create a list of places I should just not go because it's not safe for me. Anyway, I just thought my first video of me actually talking to a camera for the first time in God knows how long should be me being a bit more open and real about a situation that I wouldn't really talk to people about. It's kind of embarrassing, even though it's not, because in the time I wasn't scared. Like, I was thinking I can take him, even though I shouldn't have to feel like that. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I'm strong, but I shouldn't have to be strong. I shouldn't have to put up with being kicked in the head because I said no. No matter where I am, no matter what country it is. So I decided to share, and I hope that it's relatable. You know, some of you might have something like this that has happened to you before, but you're too scared to talk about it because you feel stupid. And stay tuned. I will be giving some more tips of how to stay safe as a solo traveler and as a black woman traveling around the world, because a lot of people say, oh, don't go to Korea, they're racist, or I don't know, don't go to China, I don't know what they say. But I've traveled to quite a few places around the world, and I have picked up one or two things, especially the one tip I can give you now, which is if you're going to go solo traveling, stay in a hostel. If you don't like sharing with people, get a private room in the hostel. You'll be able to go out with people. And if you want to go out in the town at night, don't go alone. Go in a group of people. Who knows what would have happened to me if I was alone? And I never go clubbing alone in other countries. I've done it in this country before. But, you know, could have been different. Thank God. Oh, and don't take no drinks from no strangers.
So there's a few things I want to say about that. This club is called This Is 25. I've never heard of it. You know what? If I get 5,000 likes on this video, when I'm back in Korea, I will go to This Is 25 and see what's popping there. I will record what I can. I will document my experience, and I will report back to you guys with my findings. But only if I get 5,000 likes on this video. Let's see if we can make that happen. Personally, clubbing in Itaewon for me is just better. I'm older, I'm 32. I don't really do the whole Hongdae vibe anymore, but we did go to Hongdae.
War. Terrible war.
I'm always outvoted, aren't I? So the reason I'm making this video is not only did I want to warn you about what happened to this girl, but also I kind of wanted to talk about the past and the present clubbing in Korea, like how it's different then from now, because a lot has changed. So clubbing in Korea, right? When I first moved to Korea in 2017, I lived in Jeju. So I went to Seoul like every weekend because my friends, we lived in the clubs in Hongdae. We went to the same guest house so we could just walk to the clubs, so we didn't have to worry about getting a taxi or the trains or a bus or anything like that. And we were there all the time, and we always went to the same clubs. We went to Sabotage, we went to a club that was called Go-Go's 2 that is now Sabotage 2. A lot of the clubs are still there, which is kind of crazy, but so many has come and gone. I feel like 2017, 2018 were pretty normal clubbing for me in Korea as a foreigner. Maybe it's because I was a regular, I don't know. My basic experience, right, what I was used to on average is if you get there as a lady before midnight, you're gonna be free, usually. But sometimes you do have to pay like 10,000 won to get in. That's like everybody. In 2019, that's when I started to notice a lot of clubs charging foreigners only. Like, I'm in line at one club in particular I can remember was called Attention in Hongdae. I think it's still there. I don't know if they still do the foreigners only pay thing. I don't know. But I was in line, can't wait to get lit in this club. And it was Korean people in front of me. They go in, they show ID, go in, no problem. But then I show ID, they see me, oh, 10,000 won. I was like, wait, why do we gotta pay? And then they calmly explained to us, oh, foreigners have to pay. We're like, huh? And I know this one of those like double standard things because guys are used to having to pay when girls don't have to pay. They're like, well, now y'all get to see our struggle. Y'all gotta pay just like we do. No, it's one of the few perks to being a lady, okay? Don't take this from us. So naturally, whenever that happened, we were like, okay, never mind. We don't wanna go to this club. And it wasn't always every night. Like there were some nights I went to Attention for free, no problems. And then the first time when they said foreigners pay, I was like, oh, I'm not coming back here. In Itaewon, I feel like I've never had that issue. There is this one club, I don't think it's there anymore, I don't even remember the name. It was kind of like a low-key hip-hop club of all places that didn't allow foreigners in. They straight up said no foreigners allowed. And they even will put up signs in the window that says Koreans only. One thing that I find kind of interesting about like Korea's racism, they don't say like specific foreigners. Like they say, don't say no Americans, no blacks, no whites or anything like that. They say no foreigners. So if you're white Canadian, if you're black English, if you're Indian and from Australia, like all of us excluded equally, which I found very interesting, especially when the music coming from the club is foreign and non-Korean in nature. But there was this one particular, like in that video, how she said the bouncers were pretending to not speak English. I have personal experience with that myself. I made a video about this back in 2018 when I first started my channel. We were clubbing off, what was it called? I gotta see if I can find it. Zen, I think it was called Zen Bar. I was about to look it up, but I think I remember. It was called Zen Bar, I'm pretty sure. It was me and my girls. We always go out in a big group of girls, like safety in numbers. It was me, Carolina, that's my homegirl, thugging it out in Florida. She is so upset politically by what's going on in Florida specifically, but that's my girl. And this is the first night I saw her claws come out because it was me, her, and like 3 or 4 other girls, and we're dancing. We got our drinks, we got our girl circle. No, you can't come, you're not invited. When dudes would come up, sort of energy. We're looking around, you know, listening to music. There's like a pool table. Like it's more of a lounge than a club. But you know, there's everybody kind of just dances where there's room. Carolina out of nowhere was just gone. And we're like, where did she go? And then she's over there. Like there's some Korean girl passed out, like leaning over, slumped over in a chair, passed out. And she noticed a brown guy had his hand up her skirt. Like this girl's passed out and he's like touching her upper skirt. And we're like, where is her friend? Like who left her like this? And my friend is barking at this dude to get him away, chase him and shame him out of the club. And now that we're catching on to the situation, we're like, Carolina, what's wrong? Oh my God. And she's like, he had his hand up her skirt, this fucking pervert. Like she was so angry. And we're trying to get the bouncers, we're trying to get cops, we're trying to get some sort of authority involved, right? And we know they speak English because like, even if it's just basic in nature, I noticed that in a lot of clubs, like especially in Seoul, you have to speak some degree of English. And I feel like in most places in Seoul, one of the things before I ever went to Korea, I was like, I want to learn Korean. I want to surprise Korean people. I want to integrate myself and speak Korean. But as soon as they see you with a foreign face, they start to speak to you either really slowly in Korean or in English. And you're like, oh shit, I thought I was gonna have to speak Korean. Like you never really get the chance to practice because they automatically default to English when they see you. It's no different when you go to the club. You ask for your drink and they're like, what can I get you? And you're like, oh shit, okay. So you're used to somebody speaking English, but that doesn't even matter because we had a friend with us that spoke Korean, right? So we're trying to explain to the bouncer in English and in Korean what's going on. This girl is passed out. We don't know who she's with. We're trying to get her a taxi home or something. This dude was fondling her and harassing her. He did not care. He paid us no attention. We're like, are we invisible? Like, can you see us? Like, is this serious right now? I don't remember how, but eventually we did get her up the stairs. I think a guy helped. I can't remember if he worked there or if he was just a guy in the club. Helped us get her up the stairs and out to a taxi and on her way. And we were so upset because later that pervert guy came back to the club and my friend was ready to bark at him some more. Like, she did not want to let him feel comfortable in that club. But that's just like, you see, what I'm saying is like in her video, I'm not at all surprised that the bouncers and the staff didn't intervene because shit like that does happen all the time. And they definitely don't side with the foreigner. I remember one night I was lucky because I don't really like EDM clubs or anything like that. And we went to like a language exchange event and it came with like a free wristband to a club in Gangnam. I think it was Maid or something, but I don't like Octagon, but I don't like clubs like that. So luckily for me, I'm standing in line and I was like, I don't want to go in this smoky, cloudy EDM club. I'm reaching in my long padding coat pocket and I realized, oh shit, I don't have my ARC. I'm not gonna be allowed in the club. Sorry guys, I'm gonna go now. So I took a nice, peaceful, lonely taxi ride back to my accommodation in Seoul. I'm listening to, what was it, Singularity by V. Onhan River window down. I felt such zen at the headache and the bullet I dodged because when my friends came back the next day, one of my friends was accused of being bumped into a Korean girl, forcing her to drop her phone and it broke, right? So all of the staff there forced her to give her money cash to fix her phone. Even the staff took her side. And by the way, this friend was Korean American, didn't speak a lick of, well, she spoke a bit of Korean, but she was raised by white people. But didn't really know much about her culture. And she often said like part of the reason she wanted to go back to Korea was to like get in touch with her roots, find her parents, learn her culture. So she didn't really speak a lot of Korean. I really feel for gyopos in particular, a Korean person who was raised and lives abroad because they look at you like with extra scrutiny, like you're one of us and you don't act like it. So I felt really bad for her. But she was forced to give money, like go to the ATM, give money to this girl. The staff, her boyfriend, the girl, they all forced her to give her money to fix her phone that she may or may not have actually cracked. So I'm not at all surprised that the staff did not intervene. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack from that video. First of all, the positives. Let's talk about the positives first. One of the things I've always said on my channel is clubbing in Korea is really nice because it's such a good way to meet young people. Like, it's such a good social atmosphere. The bathrooms in the clubs are just legendary. You make the best of friends in the bathrooms. Like, just hyping each other up for no reason, just because it's nice and just because you feel honest. You are so pretty. I love your shoes. I love your hair. Oh my God, I love your lipstick. Let's take a pic. Love that. You have the sweetest smile. Like, the friendliest people when they're a little bit tipsy and in the club. I fucking love that. I miss that so much. So when she said like, you met a bunch of girls in the club and they're dancing together and all that stuff, love that. That makes all the sense in the world. Like, it doesn't take much for it to be like, next thing y'all dancing with each other. I love it. I'm fully impressed so thankful and grateful for those guys who protected her and defended her and helped her when the staff wouldn't, even though that's their job to diffuse the situation, keep everyone safe and calm, and keep things clean. You know what staff's supposed to do in a club. I know we trash men who deserve it. We don't trash all men, we trash bad men on this channel. It is such a relief to hear that a group of guys came to this girl's defense. Because usually it's girls who gotta look out for other girls in situations like this, right? So clap it up for the dudes who stood up for her and helped her and protected her from this psycho. I just think it's absolutely crazy that they pretended to not speak English, and that's not the first time I've seen that. And this is part of the thing where they say, oh, we don't like foreigners in the clubs because they cause problems. This is a drunk, crazy Korean man drop kicking women, but foreigners cause problems? We see that sort of thing all the time in every country where people blame all their problems on foreigners. It's so frustrating. It's such a tired, long since deceased argument. It is not factual in any way. The usual suspects, but then ignore when their own people commit these horrible crimes. Like, every time I see some like recent news about Korea and like some sort of crime that happened, it's some crazy Korean dude who just killed his son, who killed his whole family, who tied up a foreigner and hung him from like a forklift or a crane because he thought it was funny. It's Korean men who are assaulting, stalking, and harassing their own Korean women. But foreigners are the problem? I could make a whole separate video on that. But the point is, the whole foreigners aren't allowed in the club because they cause problems argument is so tired. It's so stupid because it is not just foreigners. It is a lot of Koreans who also cause problems. But I remember one of the like racial clubbing incidents, it was at Sabotage a few years ago. And the staff explained to her, well, we're in Korea, so the club should be mostly Koreans.
Okay.
It's like, okay, well, play Korean music. Why do y'all only play foreign music? Y'all only play hip hop. Y'all only play pop, American, Western music. I just can't get over that. Can you imagine drop kicking a woman in the back of her head and it was so light that she thought it was just a bottle? You skipped leg day, my guy. One thing I will say, and I strongly noticed the difference. Like for me personally, clubbing in Korea this year felt so different. So I've been clubbing in Korea 2017, 2018, only a little bit in 2019 because I was only in Korea from like September to November. 2021 was like pandemic-y still, so like there was a curfew, places closed at like 9 or 10 p.m. so it was a lounge, it wasn't technically allowed to be a club. 2022 when I was there, I was only in Jeju, so I didn't really get the full scope of clubbing in Korea because there's only a handful of clubs in Jeju. But 2025 this year when I went back, things felt so different. And I feel for this girl because this was like the first time in my life where I felt like they wanted foreigners. There is this rule, and I talked about it in the vlog I made earlier this year, where if you're like girls in a group of 4, they want you in and they will give you a bottle to get you in their club and you don't have to pay. This is the first year of my life that we went to countless clubs and I did not have to pay an entrance fee, not one time. I'm used to having to pay all the time, like unless you get in before a certain time. But this time, I didn't see the only foreigners pay. I mean, obviously there are clubs that will charge you no matter what, but we found so many clubs that just let us in for free. It's like, hey, you wanna come in? They were actively pursuing us. And we're all foreigners, by the way. Well, there was one night where one of us was Korean, but that was, oh my God, the drama. Most of us were foreigner. They were like, hey, you wanna come in? Hey, you wanna come in? Hey, we got a bottle, give you a bottle. In my humble, feeble opinion, clubbing in Korea this year just felt so much better for me than it has before in the past. Again, when I'm back there in a few months, it'll be something I can like challenge and follow up on. Like, is it really this chill or was it my first time back in a while, my first time since COVID? So everything just felt better. I remember one of my biggest problems when I was first in Korea was I felt like I was getting stared at a lot in like an alien, what is that sort of way. This time, whenever I got stared at, I could tell, how do I say this without like, I'm not a conceited person. Like, I think I'm pretty, but I'm not like, I'm gorgeous or anything like that. But I really felt like they were looking at me like, wow, what a pretty foreigner. Or, wow, what a cute foreigner type shit. I'm used to the woo. But then if I look at them, they kind of like look away like, oh shit, I hope they didn't see me. But this time when I would look at them and they would kind of just smile and I'm like, oh, that's nice. I mean, personally, I'm looking forward to getting back to Itaewon. I had a lot of fun at Itaewon. Unfortunately, we only did like 1 weekend in Itaewon and like 2 or 3 in Hongdae when I was last there. But the Itaewon weekend was so unproblematic. Everybody was so friendly. We got some new Instagram friends and like it was such a vibe. Oh my God, I missed that. I can't wait to get back to that. My boyfriend will be going back to Hong Kong in a few days, and while he's over there, I'll be over there visiting him. And also I'll be in Korea because like when I'm in the region, I feel like I'd like to do Korea, Japan, Hong Kong, Korea, Japan, Hong Kong, like since it's all there. So I'll be back in those 3 places. I'm hoping to add like Taiwan to the list soon. Some other places over there I haven't been. I would love to know what you guys think about this video, because when I saw it, like, how do you drop kick somebody in the head? You drop kicked a woman in the head because she said no to your drink? I mean, it's kind of like the Patreon story I'm about to upload, because not that he was violent with her, but he chose crazy for no reason. I feel like you should just move on to someone who will accept your advances. I don't understand, why do people prolong the rejection? Like, if I go up to a guy and I'm like, yo, I think you're really hot, I think you're really attractive, let me get your number. And they say, no thanks, I'm cool, you take care. She's a runner, she's a track star. She gonna run away when it gets hard. I am not staying there to try and convince you to give me a chance. If you said no, you said no. I am moving on. If someone says, oh, I don't like you, no thanks, I don't want that. You're just gonna sit there, but why? Come on, take it, come on, take it. And she's right, because Korea is still, like, we've talked about a lot of crime, we've talked a lot of shit popping off in Korea, but Korea is still one of the safest countries in the world. And it says a lot that so much bad stuff can happen, and it's still statistically safer than probably the country you're watching from this. Like, especially like if you're watching this from the States, it is still statistically vastly safer. If a girl says no, if a guy says no, just move on, take your L, dust it off, try again with somebody else. Move on. I don't understand it. You drop kicked a woman because she told you no. She said no thanks. And I can imagine that, no thanks, I'm sorry. Even if she was rude, like even if she's like, get the fuck out my face, that don't mean you get the drop kicker. Like, it's so frustrating that we're always told that we have to be polite, we have to be nice, we have to be kind with our rejection, we just have to be civil, we have to be amiable, we have to cater to potentially any emotional response and adjust accordingly so we are safe and so we stay safe. Reject them the way you feel appropriate. Like, you shouldn't have to be like, oh, I'm so sorry, or come up with a lie and say, I have a boyfriend, I'm engaged, I'm gay. Your no should be enough. Why? Why is no not enough? So yeah, guys, I don't want to ramble too much. I just thought this video was so crazy. I'm so glad that this girl like spoke up and warned people about this club. This is 25, so you've been warned. And thank you for Marika for sending it to me. Again, I'm not on TikTok. I'm sorry. I would follow you if I could, Lisa. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Annyeong.